Test. Test. Test 1, test 2. We're about to get started in a second. Music is a little loud. I just turned it down, so let me know if that's good. I just turned it down, so let me know if it's good. We get started at 2:53. Got a minute. I make sure the vibe's right. So that max supply. I ain't never gonna feel good about that. Sound good? Cool. Cool. What's good? Let's get into it. So as far as the coins go, the direct projects, as far as the last couple days, Bitcoin is down 9%, Ethereum's up 7%. So everything's kind of doing its own thing right now. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was we got the news of the ETF approval, which everybody was making this big thing. I wasn't, the one that was necessarily the biggest on it, because the price could have did three things: go up, down, or went sideways, and price action continued as normal. I guess if we're looking for any direct correlation to price action based off of the approval of the ETF, they get approved. Now they have to start offering these products to their employees, to their customers. So BlackRock has their customers sit in, talks to their advisors, and now they can start pitching this new Bitcoin ETF. So they have to start pitching it and offering it first. And then after a while, after a couple months, money can start flowing into it. It doesn't just happen just like that. These things take time. This is a process. And we got a long way to go. But as far as the space as a whole, the ETFs are very, very, very bullish for the space. We don't have to go into why because we've talked about it here. You've heard it a million places else of why it's bullish. So it's just good for the space. The more financial products that are being created around this space, the better. The more maturity and like the approval gives it more clarity and let's say you're an older generational person who's hearing about Bitcoin and you know what I'm saying, you 60, 70 something, you know, you've made your investments, you know what you're talking about as far as money. Bitcoin is something new on the scene you don't really care too much about, but now that they have ETFs and products that you can trust, maybe you'll put, I don't know, a 0.5% of your portfolio into it just to see, you know what I'm saying, just to see what it's about on some experimental stuff. So let's look at the Bitcoin's price action. So as far as from basically the beginning of 2023, but we'll start from a little bit. We've been on a 12, 13 month uptrend, and it's looking pretty strong. Now it can't go on for forever; it has to break. But then again, who knows? It can go up. I say, look, this is kind of how I feel about the whole macro cycle. You have a blow off top. You have a parabolic price action, which we've had here in December 2017. And then you come down from the all-time high, you know what I'm saying? You cool down, you come up a little bit, and then you have an actual bear market. I'm not saying it has to go like this every time, but from what I'm seeing here is what I'm predicting, and I predicted this a while ago, is going to be very similar to this type of price action, but elongated because now we have more money in the space. It's a different environment. We have regulation. So everything's just different at this point than it was in 2017. So we've had the parabolic price action. We just happen to have a double top. So we peaked out in November 2021. So I say we're coming down from the bear market, which took a year and a half. And then for the last 12 months, we've been on an uptrend. I say we still find a happy medium around here, and then we kind of trade sideways for a couple years, maybe until sometime in 2025, maybe till 2026, possibly even into 2027, 28. But I think this is where our sideways to bear market action will be in here, and then after that, a couple years down the line, 3-4 years down the line, we'll have a room for a super bull run. But who knows? This could be the beginning of a bull run here. You know, let's see if I can pull up the chat. No, I can't. So that's just my predictions on the long-term macro. But to be honest with you, it doesn't change my plan. Let's say that this is the beginning of the bull run and we're starting to take off and we'll be at all-time highs this year or next year. It doesn't change my plan because I'm looking at this as a long-term asset. I'm investing into it in a sort of a 401k style. So what I do is DCA. None of this is financial advice, but I dollar cost average in on a monthly basis. So I set aside a portion of money that I am comfortable with putting into the cryptocurrency market every month. Let's just say it's $200. And every month on a certain day, I inject $200 into the cryptocurrency market. And over time, it adds up because there's only going to be so many Bitcoin created. There's only going to be so many Ethereum created. But really Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the scarcest one. If you go into Ethereum's maximum supply, it's a large conglomerate, it's a large company, so they can make as many as they like in all actuality. But Bitcoin is really the one with that real scarce amount. 21 million will only ever be created. So anyway, long story short, I like to invest monthly on a monthly basis, kind of like you would do a 401k. You don't think about it, you know what I'm saying? It goes directly from your check into the market, and you don't try to get in and out with your 401k. The only thing you may do is either borrow against it, which I plan to do with my cryptocurrency holdings in the future. There will be products created to where you can borrow against it versus going to a bank. Or you can pull it out with fees, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing about Bitcoin is you'll be able to pull it out, but you have to pay taxes. So it's the same thing either way. So that's how I'm viewing it, and that's how I'm looking to it right now. And the reason I'm so in on this asset class right now is because it's still a low barrier of entry. Because if we pay attention to what BlackRock's doing with the housing market, if we pay attention to what's going on with inflation as far as everywhere in the U.S., as far as consumer goods, apartment or rent prices, used car prices, everything that you need to live is constantly going up. I don't see a big reverse. Like, let's just say you see a house on the housing market and it's worth $450,000. You know what? Let's look at it. Zillow. Let's look at a house in Houston. Trying to illustrate a point here. Let's just look at homes. All right, let's look at this house right here, $470,000. It was built in, when was it built? Trying to see when was it built. Either way, let's go to market value. Guess I'm not as good at going through Zillow as I once was. They don't have the price history? Okay, maybe a new build. Either way, point is, there will be a house that was $100,000 15 to 20 years ago. Now it's worth $450,000. If we want to get back to that point of a $100,000 house, like, that's a 70% price crash. Like, nowhere in America is gonna crash that much. So the point is, every asset that there is, including gold, stocks, they just keep getting higher and higher, keep climbing higher and higher. Let's look at the S&P. And I believe the same thing will happen with cryptocurrency. As long as it's an asset, conglomerates will be out looking to buy it. I mean, if we're looking at the S&P 500, over time, it's just going up and to the right. Ever since we started tracking it in 71, it's just going up and to the right. So if Bitcoin has any staying power, which is the hard part to predict, because I'm coming at it from the perspective of these tokens have staying power. And this is 2024. You think in 2034, this top 10 list is going to look like this? I guarantee you it's not, because Bitcoin may be just the first technology that set the example. There may be a new cryptocurrency coming out, or something that we haven't even seen yet, that hasn't even been created yet, that may take the top spot. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be flexible, but I'm coming from the long-term perspective, because anybody who's held from 5 years ago in Bitcoin, you're doing pretty good. Anybody that's had to go from 10 years ago, you're doing amazing. But it's very, very, very hard to hold on to these assets, and you don't know how far they're going to go. For example, let's say you bought Bitcoin at $30. Let's say you were one of the early people who bought Bitcoin at $30. Do you think the person who bought Bitcoin at $30 is sitting on millions and millions right now? Or did they sell when their $30 hit $300 and they made 10x? Or did they sell when their $30 turned into $1,000 and they made hundreds and hundreds of all multiples? You know what I'm saying? Nobody could predict that it was going to go to 42,000. So you just never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to a guy I met, and he said he got into Bitcoin so early, like, he had to meet some guy. He had to communicate with some guy online, meet with him in person, give him the money. He'd go buy the Bitcoin for him and bring it back to him on a hard drive. Like, that's how early he got into Bitcoin. He says him, including himself, everybody he knows sold Bitcoin because they just had no clue how high it could go. So I'm banking on staying power. Now, there will be another strategy I apply as far as, like, when we get into that actual certified parabolic price movement, there may be some tokens that I try to get in and out of on some quick stuff, ride the wave, you know what I'm saying, get into a couple small caps, get into some meme coins, and try to, you know what I'm saying, make a bag like that. But as far as having that as my main strategies for this asset class, that is a no-go. That is a no-go. We pretty much got to be in a God candle somewhere around here when everything is going up hundreds of percents in 24 hours, because it can happen. If you've been here during a cryptocurrency bull run, 50% moves are nothing in one day. A coin going up 50% to 150% in one day ain't nothing. So we will have another opportunity like that in the future at some point. And you just kind of have to be ready when you get there. And the real money is made during these points, you know what I'm saying, for the long term, because I was able to get in on Ethereum and Bitcoin in this area and rode it up to the top and had a big portfolio and watched that portfolio go all the way down, because at this point, this was my first bull run. I didn't know how to sell. You know what I'm saying? I like literally you can throw money into, damn it, why did I close it? You can throw money into any coin and make money. You know what I'm saying? But that clouds your judgment if it's your first time going through it, because you find IOTA's an older coin, but you just throw money into IOTA and then it goes up 150%. Like, oh, I'm a good cryptocurrency picker. I'm a good stock picker. No, you're not. You're in the middle of a bull run and everything is going up at the same time. It doesn't matter where you put money. You have to actually really try very hard to lose money. So I put money into the market around here, rolled it to the top, had a large portfolio, watched it climb all the way down because I thought it was going to go on for forever. No bull market goes on for forever. And anybody you talk to that has been in cryptocurrency for a while, maybe in this area and rode this bull run, they'll have the same story for you. You just have to go through it to learn how to control your emotions and learn how to move. Like, it's just maturity. You know what I'm saying? Like if you start a business, you have to be in the business 10 years to learn the ups and downs of that business, because you're not going to know at the beginning when you're first starting everything that you're going to know 10 years later. It's impossible. It just takes time, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got to take your losses. You got to invest into some scam coins. You have to listen to your favorite influencer and invest based off of what they say. And then, you know, after you lose your money, their YouTube channel is still going and they're just on to a different coin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go through your bumps and bruises, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you understand risk tolerance, because I don't want anybody investing their life savings into something or more than they can lose, and then they take a big L and they can never invest in anything else ever again, you know? So, okay. So let's look at a couple factors. So I'm in the US, so we have the US federal funds rate, and it's looking like we've taken that indefinite pause, like we did back in 2001, like we did in 2006, 2007, and 2018-19. This is that indefinite pause. Now, what happens to the S&P 500 when we pause? We normally rally for a little bit. These yellow dots are when we pause interest rates. So if we look at it, this pause here, we rallied for about a year. Pause here, we rallied for about a year. And 2019, we paused, we dipped for a little bit, then we rallied for about a year. So that does give us, you know, some bullish momentum that we could have further price action based off of the fact that we just paused interest rates indefinitely. Now they could go higher. I don't think so. You know, just based off of the pattern, this is normally where they continue to pause, and we won't have another meeting until the end of this month. So we got about 15 more days, and then we'll see what they do. I'm predicting that they'll continue to pause rates, but so we see what they do when they pause. The market has fueled a rally. But what happens when they finally begin to cut rates like they did here, here, and here? What happens when they finally cut rates? And, you know, we can't necessarily predict what's going to happen in the future, but if we just look back on the past and try to see what happens, we can kind of take a guess of what could happen. So the big blue vertical lines are when they pause. No, when they cut rates. What happens when they cut rates? We're normally lower than we were specifically in the S&P 500. We're normally lower than we were a year later. So we paused and let's zoom in. We cut rates in January 2001, and in January 2002 we were lower. We cut rates in August 07, and in August 08 we were lower than we were. And the 2019, the COVID interest rate pause, it was pretty weird. I try to use the other two as a better example, but let's say we cut rates in August 2019. And in this situation, we were higher. So rules are made to be broken. You can't just go off of one pattern. You know what I'm saying? You always got to be on the lookout. But traditionally, 2 out of 3 times, 66% of the time, we are lower. So we'll see what happens this time. As we talked about inflation, this is the median sales price for homes in the U.S. And we peaked out in Q4 2002. And throughout the year, we've been going down. But we're about to get the numbers for Q4. And it's looking like we're starting to peak back up. So we peaked out at $180,000 as the average median home sold. And let's look at where it was 10 years ago, 2022. So let's look at 2012. 2012, it was $251,000, which is still up there, but much more affordable than it was today. So just imagine where, and look, over time, it's just going up and to the right. You know what I'm saying? Every asset class is going up and to the right over time. I don't know if that's sustainable forever. It would be pretty ironic if, when we start to get into the investing ages and the ages where we start making real money, that things don't go that way. But, you can't complain about the time periods you were born. You just got to adapt and figure it out, I am here holding it down for the live show. Man, shout out to Jack, man. Always here, always holding it down, man. You gotta send me a message on some type of social media so I make sure we connect. You gotta send me a message. We gotta talk. Cause you know what you're talking about every time you come in here. I always show love to the stream. If ain't nobody else gonna hold me down, it's your boy Jack. So let's get into a little bit of news. How long have we been running it? 20 minutes. So, Circle confidently files for IPO following banner year for crypto stocks. So, here's the funny thing about cryptocurrency. These are not stocks. They're just crypto tokens. They don't give you the same rights as it would as if you owned a share in their stock. When you buy the Avalanche token, you are not an owner of the Avalanche network. You do not own a part of their company. You have no say-so. You have no voting rights. So you kind of want to watch out for that and understand the subtle differences. But Circle is filing for an IPO and they plan to go public. Circle, the issuer of USDC stablecoin, which is right here, the number 7 coin, announced on Tuesday that it has confidentially filed paperwork with the SEC for an IPO. The tech IPO market has mirrored in a 2-year drought, but 2023 was a big year for crypto stocks, with Coinbase soaring almost 400%. So the stocks that were around cryptocurrency did amazing this year. I mean, if you just look at the underlying asset itself for all of 2023, rose damn near 160%, 180%. You know what I'm saying? So the stocks that were around it, hold on, let me see if I can find that list of mining stocks. So let's look at Mara, Riot, and Clean Spark. Let's look at it on the daily. So Mars had had its price tracked since 2012. So I guess they've always been popping, but they switched to blockchain mining. So let's see how far they've went up since the beginning of 2023. This company's stock has risen 419% since the beginning of 2023. It peaked out. What did it peak out at? Jeez Louise. This company rose 800% in a year. And this is the stock price. So this is why you should always pay attention to the companies around cryptocurrency. Let's look at Coinbase. What did they do? What did they do from the beginning of 2023? They're up currently 280% since the beginning of 2023. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Golly. Imagine who had options on these stocks and they went long on the cryptocurrency space. Like, that's crazy. Not financial advice, but I think that might be something. That might be something I want to look into after a while. But yeah, so long story short, Circle has previously planned to go public via a special purpose acquisition, but the deal fell apart in late 2022. So Circle's going public. They have the number 7 cryptocurrency, which is a stable coin, which there's an numerous amount of use cases around the stable coin technology. You should really look it up. Faster transactions, cheaper transactions, cross-border payments, less hassle with regulators. So financial companies are really, really looking into this technology, and they're really doing their thing. So pay attention to this, and I think this would be a good IPO to look at, especially if you want to get in on stocks that are around cryptocurrency, not necessarily directly related to Bitcoin, but around the technology and where companies are looking to go in the future. And they do have the number 7 cryptocurrency with a market cap of $25 billion. I was about to say trillion, $25 billion. The whole market cap as a whole is only 1.7 trillion. And let's look at that really quick just to kind of see where we've been. Let's look at it on here. Total cryptocurrency market cap. Where have we peaked out at? We peaked out at 3 trillion. So just imagine where the next bull run can take us. Like, the next bull run could take us to 6, 7, 8 trillion dollars. Like, that's a lot of money into the space. And if we're hitting, all right, so we hit 3 trillion. Let's say we hit 5.5 trillion. Imagine what the prices will be like on these tokens. Like, Bitcoin got to be around 100, 150. Ethereum sitting at 20 bands. BNB 1,200 plus. Solana, there is no telling where a lot of these coins that haven't had price discovery yet. Like, Solana's only been around. I have so long. Solana's only been around since 2020. That's no time. That's not enough time to have true price discovery. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's look at a token that's been here for a long time, and we could say that they've had price discovery. Tron. Okay. Tron has been around longer than that. Let's go ETH. ETH has been around long enough. We should have a decent chart on ETH. So ETH has been around since 2015. So when the chart starts to look like this and it's had real cycles, it's had time for real price discovery. So this has a bunch of years on Solana. And to be honest with you, this is such a young asset class. Like, to be honest with you, none of these tokens have really been around that long at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep that in mind. It's still a young asset class. There's still so much money being poured into it. As we'll get into a story actually it's the next story. They're still banning it. They're still banning Bitcoin mining companies. They're still banning exchanges. So let's get into it really quick. McDowell Commissioner enacts cryptocurrency mining ban. The McDowell County Board of Commissioners voted unanimously on Monday to ban cryptocurrency mining in the county, effective immediately. So the cryptocurrency mining uses significant electricity and water resources as part of this operation to power special servers to maintain a cool climate. So if you're not familiar with Bitcoin mining, there's only 21 million that will ever be made, and they're made via a computer solving a problem and creating a new Bitcoin. That's called mining. That problem that they solve is not just, on my laptop being able to be solved like that. Like, these are large computers solving large complex problems, and whichever computer solves that problem is rewarded with a piece of that Bitcoin that is made. And people set up mining computers and mining farms to solve those problems to make money. People have whole businesses off of them. That is what this mining stock company does. That's what Marathon Digital Holdings does. That's what Riot Blockchain does. CleanSpark. These are Bitcoin mining companies, and they have valuations of 4.2 billion, 2.4 billion, 1.5 billion. So this is an actual business. If you're not familiar with it, like, this is a really, really, really big deal. But not everybody's on board with it because these computers use so much capacity, and in some counties where they're operating at, the community is voting against it and saying this is using up too much electricity, they're too loud. So a lot of the companies are moving to other areas in the world. Like, China was huge in Bitcoin mining, and what happened was the whole, how China do, the government outright banned it. So that took every business that was in cryptocurrency mining had to move to another part of the country. I think the majority moved to India, possibly. But yeah, so that's how the power of who controls what inside of cryptocurrency starts to get shifted. So they're still banning cryptocurrency mining areas inside of the US. So, but what if in the future cryptocurrency mining becomes a really big deal as far as economic power, government power, and your country outlawed it? You know what I'm saying? Now you're behind. You know what I'm saying? And once something gets so far, there is no catching up. So, you know how it is with technologies, and you know how it is as far as power, you know what I'm saying? So let's pay attention to see who wins, you know what I'm saying? Let's say if cryptocurrency mining does turn into that, or it's a nothing burger, it's just a regular business and it gets mined places. Good call on the Circle IPO would be huge. Do you know if private equity, or is it being sold anywhere? I heard big VCs sell some of their private positions before they go public. I don't know, but I guarantee you who gonna be on it. Me and you gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know yet. Because that's something I'm looking up right now. Because I asked myself the same question, like, will I be able to get in on this? Because if it is something that the public can get on it, I definitely want to get onto it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be doing my research and bringing that to you as soon as I find it. Because I haven't started it yet, but that research will probably start today. Because I mean, let's see. Can we track Circle's market cap? Can we track USDC's market cap? Because there's no point in tracking the price, but the market cap. So from 2020, the market cap has risen from 2 billion to 54 billion. Oh yeah, we got to get in on that. Because we've seen what the stock prices do on around the crypto space. So if we can find opportunities like that, and that's why we talk about this stuff. That's why the show is called Where the Money At. That's the whole purpose of this channel, so we can find stuff like that. We're gonna be on that, Jack. We're gonna be on that. But so we got Circle coming out with an IPO. Bitcoin mining companies are still getting banned everywhere. Let's talk about some more bans that's going on in cryptocurrency. India FIU issues show calls notice to 9 cryptocurrency exchanges. The 9 offshore VDA, virtual digital asset services providers, Binance, KuCoin, Huobi, Kraken, and others were named in the notice. So, long story short, we could read it. The FIUIND has sent compliance showcase notices to 9 offshore virtual digital asset service providers following the new money laundering act that they have. The announcement was made after such. This show notice includes 9 offshore. Okay. Point is, they've been sent a notice to be banned. The Secretary of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has received a letter from Director FIUIND requesting that the URLs of the aforementioned entities, which are functioning illegally and in violation of the PLM Act in India, be blocked. So, also, like I said, the crypto mining companies went from Asia to India, and also there's still regulation issues going on inside of India, just like everywhere else in the world. You know what I'm saying? So they want to block the URLs for Binance, KuCoin, Huobi, Kraken. I'm gonna always tell you this: like, when they blocked KuCoin in the United States, that hurt me so bad because they had all the best tokens on it. Like when you pull up coins right here, there's all of these tokens. You can't get all of these tokens from one spot. There's different areas. So let's go to Solana. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you have to go to markets. Each token is in a specific market. Like the market is in Binance, DigiFinex, Kraken. These are all the places that you can go get Solana. But there are some tokens that are just on a few exchanges and markets. So let's look at Helium. Let's look at where you can go get Helium. So you can get Helium on OrangeX, Coinbase, BingX, KuCoin, Gate.io, yada yada yada. And KuCoin had so many tokens, and it allows you to trade them as well, and it allows you to trade them with leverage. And man, like that was. So, for example, let's say that we started the bull run, we were on a parabolic bull run, and it may have been just, some regular coin that you found, some new little coin, new little project that you did your research on and you decided to get into. So you put $100 into it, but you put $100 into it and went long on it with 100x leverage. So that made your trade that much more powerful using money that you didn't necessarily have to own to be able to create more profit on that trade. You were able to lose that trade easier and get liquidated easier, but no risk it, no biscuit. You know what I'm saying? The higher risk you put on it, the more profits you can make. So that hurt me bad when they banned KuCoin, but it looks like it's going on in India too. And just, you have to be aware of what area you're in, the regulations that's going on, because it could be a platform that you use and you may have in your plans that they ban. You know what I'm saying? But also they may be coming out with new stuff. But let's keep an eye on that. So Circle's IPO, Blockcoin mining companies are still getting banned. Exchanges are still getting banned. But let's talk about some positive news. So I found this story. Let's see how long we've been talking nonsense. We've been talking nonsense for about 30 minutes. Let's talk about this really quickly. So a California man got scammed and lost $100,000 in Bitcoin. And this is about a weird use case that was used for Bitcoin. I hadn't heard of this one before, so let's get into it. Here's some Bitcoin, and you've been served. A California man who lost $100,000 in a 2021 SIM swapping attack is suing the unknown holder of a cryptocurrency wallet that harbors his stolen funds. So let's say your money got stolen. The purpose of blockchain is that every transaction is transparent and you know the wallet address it's at. But just because you know the wallet address that it's at, those are just hashtags. You know what I'm saying? That it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have an address, a physical address. You just know which wallet it's being held at. So this was a situation in which the man who lost his money decided to sue that address and the owners of that address. So he lost $100K in a SIM swapping technique. Ryan DeLone, a healthcare worker in Fresno, California, asserts that thieves stole his Bitcoin on December 14, 2021 by executing an unauthorized SIM swap that involved an employee at his mobile phone provider who who switched DeLong's phone number over to a new device the attackers controlled. So that's how they jugged him. That's how they got him. But I wanted to show the purpose of this story. On December 14th, a federal judge in Eastern District of California granted DeLong permission to serve his notice of a lawsuit. When you sue somebody, you have to serve them. Back in the day, in the movies, somebody will walk up to you like, you've been served. You have to physically been served. But check this out. A federal judge in the Eastern District of California granted DeLong permission to serve his notice of his lawsuit directly to the suspected hacker's Bitcoin address using a short message that was attached to roughly $100 worth of Bitcoin to the address. Bitcoin transactions are public record, and each transaction can be sent along with an optional short message. The message uses what's known as OP return, or an instruction of the Bitcoin scripting language that allows users to attach metadata to the transaction and thus save it on the blockchain. In the $100 transaction, more sent to the distributed Bitcoin address, the OP return message read, O service, summons, complaints, U.S. District ED California link, yada, 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 which is a short copy link to the lawsuit posted on a Google Drive. So they served the thieves that stole his Bitcoin, their lawsuit papers through a Bitcoin message. I thought that was gangster. I don't know who thought of that. I don't know if his lawyer thought of that, but hey, like, if that's how you come in with it, like, I'm here for it. Everybody talk about what's the use cases of Bitcoin, and man, they stole this man Bitcoin. He sent him $100 and served him a notice. So, and here's the thing, like, you don't want to use cryptocurrency for crime. You don't want to use cryptocurrency for crime because everything is transparent. Like, the most you'll be able to do is maybe steal somebody's money and just hold it on a wallet for forever, because as soon as you access it, you know what I'm saying, this is a paper trail. This is digital. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's done online has a paper trail, and it's not hard to find a paper trail or to just map out every action you made based off of IP addresses, browser history, financial history, logins. Like, you think it's hard? All right, you think you finna do a simswap, steal this person's money, send it to an address, and then be able to get it out at an ATM or cash it out, turn it into fiat and get it out of the ATM and not be able to get tracked? Like, using cryptocurrency for crime may be one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. But man, shout out to their lawyer, man. I hope this thing works out. I hope they get all their money back, because in most cases, like, you really don't get your money back in situations like this. But they were able to serve a lawsuit to him. So, I'm gonna be keeping up with this story just in case, they actually bring these guys to justice and he gets his money back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be super dope. But we've been talking some jibber jabber for about 40 minutes. So is there anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? Is there any specific subjects you want to hit on? We'll do some open Q&A. Dog, all these tokens are not that old at all. I mean, Ethereum's just had its price tracked for less than 10 years. We're only 9 years into this. Like, this asset class can go so far if it continues to grow how it's growing right now. That's why I'm trying to get as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as possible, because they're the blue chips, and I'm trying to find the next blue chips. And I believe now that BNB has passed their woes, I think they'll be here to stay. They will have competition, but they are top dog right now. I think Solana is a good company. I think XRP is a good company. Avalanche, Polkadot, Chainlink, Tron. Tron has a bunch of users. I may not necessarily invest into it for the price action, but as far as network activity, they are one of the most transacted blockchains on the daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Be bullish, man. I'm very bullish, dog. Like, with all the information that we be bringing, all the information that I talk about, all the information that everybody else on Twitter, on YouTube, on Google are talking about, there is no reason not to be bullish in this space. Now, that don't mean just throw money into it all willy-nilly. Do your research, you know what I'm saying? Because you can still throw it into a nonsense coin like Shiba Inu. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Since I'm talking noise about Shiba Inu, I mean, even Shiba Inu has been here for a while. Even Dogecoin has been here for a while. Oh my god, that price is bullshit. See, this is what most meme coins actually look like. This is why I don't play the meme coin game just yet. But I mean, I'm not gonna act like there's not money to be made inside of meme coins. That the meme coins are a part of this space. They're not going anywhere. That's why I'll never talk crap about them. But I'm not gonna be the first person to hop off in that water. You know what I'm saying? I'm not diving head first into that nonsense because 9 times out of 10, this is what the price action looks like. And the price action looks like this, and it's still the number 19 coin. It'll be people who don't know nothing about cryptocurrency, but they will be able to tell you about Dogecoin. I'm gonna tell you that ticks me off to the fullest. That ticks me off to the fullest. I used to have arguments with my brother talking about Dogecoin. I'm like, bruh, if you talking about Dogecoin, I know you don't know nothing about cryptocurrency. I just know you don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Period. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. But I'm not gonna act like there's not cases where you can put a little bit of money into a meme coin and it grows to a lot. I'll try to find a method to the madness. I like to have standard processes, and that's just not it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find a good meme coin. You can't. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in any of this, but all right, I think we're gonna wrap it up on there. We've been talking a whole bunch of jibber jabber. Shout out to Internet Computer, still hanging out there. How long has ICP been tracked? Oh we look at this. Oh my god. Yo, this thing popped out at $630. Look at this. Oh my god, this chart looks like oh crap. I forgot this chart looks that bad. They did not release ICP at $630. Yo, that's terrible. ICP will probably never touch that again. I think they're a solid company in what I've seen them do so far, but for them to release this token at $630, oh, that price action looks like shit. Oh, let's look at AVAX now. I'm kind of interested in what all these long-term. AVAX is not looking too hot either. And let's see. When did all right? So AVAX looks not great. But it's at 146. It dropped at 85. Went up to 146. So it's really only 60% down from when it released. Pretty far from its all-time high, but this ain't as bad as ICP. Let's go back to ICP. And keep in mind, I just realized AVAX dropped in the middle of a bear market. So I'm imagining so did May 2021. What was going on during 2021? Oh no, the coin should have been ripping. The coin should have been ripping. AVAX should have been ripping. But man, if I keep talking here, we'll be sitting here all day, man. Look, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Do you ever hold back alpha? Sometimes there's just too much alpha to give to people. They probably can't handle it anyway. I hold back alpha as far as like telling people the newest and latest things I find because it's just too new. But not really. I try to bring as much as I can to the space. I try to bring everything forward. I really don't hold back alpha. This year I'll be trying to focus more on messing with DeFi. So I'll be bringing a lot of DeFi alpha, a lot of new projects alpha, because now it's time to start looking for new tokens and new projects to get into. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, the bull run can kick off at any time. So I'm gonna be looking at different ways to do banking. Just like with the meme coins, you really, really want to be careful when you hop into them. So I probably may not be talking about too many meme coins. I don't care how much information I find out about it, because it's too iffy. I'll always encourage the blue chip route. You know what I'm saying? The 60% of your portfolio, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then you know what I'm saying. Then you want to get into maybe the next 30% is medium risk plays, and then 10%. You know what I'm saying? You go crazy with. You know what I'm saying? But that's far as like coin action. So I'll be bringing new coins. DeFi projects, the lore and what it could be is too great for me to ignore it. As far as getting certain returns, but that's how a lot of people end up losing a lot of money, is just chasing return after return after return. Because if you've been in DeFi for a while, or you've been in the crypto space for a while, you know how crazy the claims that they get on how much returns they can give you on your money. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were getting into A shares, B shares, D shares, T shares, F shares, they were saying crazy things like we'll get you 100,000, a million%. And I'm like, even as a person who didn't understand DeFi that much, I'm like, that's just a made up crazy number. Like, that's not real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be doing my best to bring you the best opportunities possible. So shout out to Jack. Jack, please hit me up on Twitter, Threads, YouTube. I'll probably be JTripFit. So we could talk, because you've been really, really supporting. But we're gonna wrap it up on that, man. I'll holler at y'all. Drop a subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll holler at y'all later.